Never give up, never surrender. Never give up, never surrender. Never give up, never surrender. You heard it, WCRS. We will never give up, never surrender. Keep listening right here on WCRS. We try harder because we will never give up. We will never surrender.
Oh, that's right. We are live on Facebook. We are live on the radio. I'm alive this morning. What could be better? What could be better? Don't answer that. All right. Anyways, I'm Ann Eller here this morning. We are waiting for the Lieutenant Governor to join us. A real quick interview here this morning. Of course, she was on the debate stage last night. It was a little rough and tumble last night at the down there at on the coast there where they were debating. She was, of course, debating Alan Wilson, two candidates for our governor for the great state of South Carolina. She is going to be on here, as I said, in just a second. Certainly was a jam-packed evening for me last night. Boy, what did we have? We had county council. We'll talk about that after she calls in. Then we had, of course, we had her. I tell you what, sometimes I have to play that theme music just to remind myself.
Never give up, never surrender. Never give up, never surrender. Never give up.
That's right. Never give up, never surrender. But sometimes, you know what? I feel like giving up. So I could use a little encouragement here this morning. Some days just make it like it is so hard to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And sometimes you just need some sleep. And I just can't believe that I always need sleep. Anyways, without further ado, I see that our Lieutenant Governor is on the line with us right now. She needs to unmute. Ask all to unmute. Okay, let's see. Let me ask her to unmute. Let's see if we can get her unmuted here so she will be on the air with us. Pam, you've got my little signal here. Ask to unmute. Unmute. There you go. We've got Pam. I've got her number here. I just need to make sure we get her live on the air with us. Okay. There. Nope. All you have to do is press the button.
Hey, Ann.
Okay, you did. You pressed the button. How you doing this morning, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett, on the hunt to be the next governor for the great state of South Carolina?
Well, I'm going to be the next governor, and it was a great night. I think it was a very clear picture of what a business person looks like and what a career politician looks like.
Well, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And I certainly had a lot of audience participation in that debate last night.
Wow. I mean, but you know what? I mean, that's a debate.
Right.
I mean, if you can't stand the heat in the kitchen, I mean, there was as many, I think, supporters on each side.
Right.
I thought it was great that they were getting involved. It didn't rattle me. I could hear the questions. I could hear Alan's insults to me perfectly clear. It was fine.
Well, that was great. That's what I meant, though. It was like it was almost like a popcorn moment, right? You know, because everybody was involved and involved. Well, you're down to 1 week from today, we will know, right? We will know. So,
that's right.
So,
well, Ann,
go ahead.
With your help and everybody in Greenwood, get out and start early voting today and tomorrow.
Right.
And then runoff day is Tuesday.
That's right. So, across the state of South Carolina, we've seen a lot of debates about data centers, growth, infrastructure, and we are having that same debate right here in South Carolina, in Greenwood. So what do you believe the state's role should be in balancing the economic development with community concerns? I know there's talk of a moratorium for the whole state with data centers.
So I don't, I'm a business person, and I have said from day one, you have got to make sure that if a data center or any industry comes into a community, that they do not impact ratepayers for any utilities. Now, with that being said, you also have to have local buy-in.
Right.
And that's why I've been talking about my blueprint. We want to make sure we bring in local communities. We want to find out when businesses are coming to South Carolina, who wants what type of businesses, who wants what type of industries, so we can grow smart, so we can grow efficiently, and everybody feels like they have a seat at the table.
Well, Pam, but the problem is these data centers are just moving so fast. We've seen moratorium after moratorium after moratorium coming in. Greenwood is actually just put a amendment on for a moratorium. So what do you think? And then I've heard from Representative John McCravey that the state is looking at a statewide moratorium. Would you sign off on something like that?
Well, you know what? First of all, I think everybody's voices should guide the way their representatives go. Mm-hmm. As the CEO of the state, I don't know that you should send that message out to the world that people aren't welcome. I think all industries should come, put their best offer on the table. We should look at that and evaluate every deal for what it is, and then figure out what communities are equipped to take different kinds of industries and what communities want them. That is smart and that's honest. When Alan Wilson was talking about, I thought it was so elitist when he said, that is weak to turn it out to the voters and let them make the decision. How is that weak, going to the people and saying, give us your opinion?
Right.
I'm all about empowering people and communities.
Right. I agree with that. Absolutely. There's been many issues that you and I have talked about over the last 8 years along those same lines. But I guess since we just don't know that much about data centers, I'm kind of thinking maybe everybody needs to get up to speed. Do you not feel that way? Do you feel that, I know President Trump wants data centers in South Carolina, so that's why I asked that question.
Well, President Trump wants data centers in America, and we need to think about one important point. We are in a race against China, and data centers play a big part in that race. And you've heard President Trump's worry that if China ever gets ahead of us, Ann, we are going to lose this battle, and it's not a battle we can afford to lose. And, everybody that's talking about moratorium, we shouldn't do this, those are all people that have a smartphone in their hand, that are Googling where they should go to work, that are Googling the best route, maps, where to go on vacation.
Sure.
That's all being fueled by a data center.
Sure. I think a lot of people...
We have to really not...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ann.
No, I said go ahead.
No, so we have to be realistic, right? We as consumers are using this over and over multiple times a day. It's hard to say, I want to use my smartphone, I want to use my computer, I want to use my iPad. But I don't want any of that here, because you're the reason that we need it. Sure.
I understand. I just wondered where you were on that, and should we just look for big, like out in the desert, or, maybe the Savannah River plant where that land's already ruined, or, and the health concerns that a lot of people have had about these. So I just wondered what your take was.
Well, and you know what? I've seen a lot of data centers, anti-growth people putting stuff out. But when you really look at like these new data centers that are coming in, they have contained water, so water isn't going back into the atmosphere, and we're not using it. We're not overutilizing it, so it's not hurting our farmers. A lot of data centers are having natural gas piped into them, so they're not even affecting the grid. So these are the more updated technology data centers. I think a lot of the ones people are really talking about that are anti are like the first generation of them. Everything gets better as time goes on.
Sure.
And you're right. You know who's really winning the battle and getting data centers is Texas. Because Texas is building them. They have an entire expedited permit process. I mean, right now, Texas is the most friendly state to them. And there's a lot of flat land in Texas, and a lot of them are going out that way. So, you know, there are prime locations that are really capitalizing on this.
Absolutely. And that's, I guess, the decision that people are going to have to make. Now, we don't have a lot of time because I understand you squeezed me in between things. So let's.
You're my friend, Ann.
I know, and I appreciate you calling in here. So why should Republicans unite behind you, Pam? There was a competitive primary. What is your message to supporters of other candidates, and why should Republicans across South Carolina unite behind you?
Well, I'm asking everybody, no matter who you voted for in the primary, to come out for me. Last night, you know, there was two of us on stage.
Right.
This is what it boils down to. You can pick a successful Trump-endorsed business person that really knows how to handle business, or a career politician that was misogynistic, that was lying, that was, you know, he was offended that the facts that were coming out were, you know, he was trying to like spin that off on mudslinging.
Right.
And I hope I got my point across to everybody that watched, that said only a career politician could think facts were bad. But the fact that he has run commercials, AI commercials, with me with drag queens, I've never met a drag queen. Me with AOC, I've never met AOC. Me breaking a lie detector, I've never broken a lie detector. Those are lies, and that is mudslinging. And it is just appalling.
Well, you know, I guess what do they say about campaigns, Pam? It's all about making the sausage, and if you don't want to be there, something along that line, well, I guess we're in that phase of the campaign now.
Well, the funny thing is, I wasn't complaining about it, right? I told my family to buckle up, that, you know, I'm sure that there were going to be a lot of lies spread. But it was interesting that as soon as facts started coming out on the Attorney General, he started talking about mudslinging.
You know,
So, I'm okay. You can lie.
Well, I remember one of my
don't cry about it.
One of my favorite lines is Bette Midler in one of her comedy routines used to say, "Mud will be slung tonight." And I think that's right where we're at. Anyways, but you've got to go. I know you've got to go. But in a couple of minutes, tell the voters why you're asking for their vote and how they can learn more about your campaign.
Well, to learn more about me, go to PamelaEvitt.com. I'm going to work hard all the way through Tuesday. I plan on coming out on top. I love South Carolina, and I've loved what I've been able to do as lieutenant governor. And I promise you, as your governor, you are never going to regret one day that you voted for me. Ask yourself who has the resume to do this job. And please, get out and vote.
Yeah.
And vote for Pamela Evitt, by the way.
Well, that was the right thing to say, Pamela. All right. Now, as you go forth here today, where are you at today?
So today I am still here in Myrtle Beach. I'm doing a lot of press. I'll be on Steve Bannon tonight. And I will be shaking hands and telling people I need their vote. And I'm going to work my way back up to Greenville. I'll be in Greenville and Spartanburg all day tomorrow. Well, really the whole upstate area.
Well,
so, Ann, you should come out and see me.
I would love to do that, Pam. I would love to do that. So I'll check your schedule. We'll see what's happening out there. All the best. You are on a roll, and I know you love, I'm worried, though, about one thing, Pam. You love that Myrtle Beach, Horry County area so much. What happens up here? I'll ask you that final question. One more.
Well, let me tell you, I love the whole state. I mean, look how much I've been to Greenwood. I've spent time in Charleston. I'm in the Midlands. My residence is in Greenville.
I know.
But, the debate happened to be here last night, and you can't you can't turn a blind eye that Horry County came out for me in record numbers. So I got to show them a little bit of love. They showed me a lot of love.
I know, that was a joke. All right, you have a great day. I'll let you go. Hopefully we'll talk before the primary is over, and hopefully we'll be able to continue our call-ins after we get through this.
Absolutely, my friend. Everybody, I'd be honored to have your vote. Please get out and vote and call 20 people to go with you.
All right, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette, the next governor of the great state of South Carolina. Have a great day.
Thanks, Ann.
Bye. All right, well, there you go. We just heard Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette on the line with us. And that was a quick interview. I had a few more questions, but I knew I wouldn't get to ask them, so I just went with those. But what do you think about her data center answer? What do you think about that? Are you satisfied with that? Does it have some merit? You know, I think this idea that data centers, I mean, we're being told the same thing here in Greenwood, that they will get ahead of, that if we don't take it now. I am not for that personally. I am for having all the information. I talked to somebody yesterday who is from the Loudon, Virginia, who said the hum, the wildlife, all these aspects are at risk. So if somebody's going to come waltzing, remember there's an old song, Waltzing Matilda? Oh my God, Ann, you are really old. I just remember that from hearing it. I don't have personal knowledge of it. But what I was going to say is that people... I don't think that we should just have a data center waltzing in here without all the folks being on the same page and having all the information and choosing locations where they could go, where it would not affect. But I heard yesterday, what I started to tell you, is that somebody that lived in, what do they call that, data center alley, a data center alley. And there are so many data centers that they literally have taken over. Now, they have had data centers there. In all fairness, they've had data centers there for, 20 years or something. So this isn't, they probably, as Pam was saying, would have had some of the older ones. So I'm sure there are different effects. But the one thing that keeps coming back is the hum and what it does to the surrounding environment. What about this person said there were no birds in that area where they were, and for quite a distance away from that. You know, I think about the huge solar farm that was approved the first of the year. And we were told that, everything is fine on that. We didn't even need rezoning for that. You may remember that. You may remember it or not. I don't know. But I think that personally, we don't know what the effects are 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What are the effects on the future of our land? The land itself, and what about the future of the people? This thing about the hum is probably one of the most disturbing things, but again, we don't know what that is. If they could tell us that they are absolutely independent study, that there are no problems, then maybe we should consider it. But until we have that information, I am not for that. Now, I do want to bring up one piece of information that I learned last night. And it probably needs to be triple checked and verified. So if somebody would like to triple check and verify it for me, that would be great. But that you can speed that moratorium that was introduced last night. You may remember that we knew that a moratorium amendment was going, or ordinance was going to be introduced last night. Now, one of the things that has been said by actually Chairman Theo Lane was that they wanted to get, and I'm paraphrasing this, but this, I mean, we could go back and pull the clip on it, but that they needed to get something in place so that if a data center came in here, that we wouldn't be totally exposed, and that the third reading on this text amendment to allow certain conditions must be met before a data center can be allowed, that that will be voted on July, is it July 7th, July 5th, the first Tuesday there. They will be voting on that then. So, then of course it's been brought up, but the other one, yeah, it's July 7th. Okay, the other one, the moratorium one, would only be on second reading. I found out that county council could call back, notify the media, 3 days, have a meeting, 3 days, have a meeting, 3 days and have a meeting, and literally the moratorium could be in effect at the same time or maybe a few days early, but the moratorium does not have to go through their meeting cycle. They can call a special meeting as long as they as long as they make sure that the media is identified in this. So that's an interesting possibility, isn't it? If county council wants to go ahead and get the moratorium in place, they could literally say that they're going to meet. Today is Wednesday. They could say they're going to meet on Monday. Then they could put out another one and meet on Thursday, for example. And then they could put out another post to the media saying that they were going to have a meeting. And literally, there is time to put both on the table at the same time at the second reading. What'll be the third reading of the text amendment to put in conditions for a data center regulations, or they could put the moratorium, and they could both be on the table. They would have to act quickly. But both could be done at the same time. I think that is something that our county council should consider. Do they, at this moment, should they be trying to fly off? I understand next week they're going to fly off somewhere. This is from the meeting from last night. They're going to fly and go to an area and check out a data center. But if they wanted to protect our community up front, I mean, I'm just talking about with the moratorium, just not have this as an issue. 3 different meetings. We've already had first reading. They've got to have second reading, and then they've got to have third reading. Well, they could do that because all they have to do is identify or signify to the media that they're calling a special meeting, and this could happen. I think that if people out there would like to see this amendment passed on the data center, that you simply call your local county council member and get her done, folks, because that is a possibility. So, is that something you'd consider? Is that something you'd like to see? Contact your county council members: Theo Lane, Joanna Bishop, Teresa Griffin, Mark Allison, Dane Pruitt, Kathy Miller, and Robbie Templeton. So all of them were at the meeting last night, except Kathy Miller was not in attendance at the meeting. So I don't really know why, but she was not at the meeting last night. But you do remember that it was Kathy Miller, Dane Pruitt, and Mark Allison that got together and posed that amendment for the moratorium for 1 year. one of the other things people have been all bent out of shape about is that the moratorium was not 2 years. Well, let me tell you something. They can always agree to extend the moratorium. They can always agree to shorten the moratorium. If they got all the information that they wanted, could they go ahead and lift the moratorium in Greenwood County? Yes. If they reach the end of a year and they still don't feel confident about the places maybe that they've identified, the zoning rules that they want to change, or whatever the people and county council decide, then of course they can extend the moratorium. So that's not a stuck issue. I will say that Theo Lane said something interesting last night, that over the last 2 weeks that, quote, staff had been working on adding some things into, they've been doing a lot of research and adding some things into the text amendment. I think that is fine. I think that, but I think both should be looked at. But there also is no reason to pressure the folks to put in an amendment that, number one, from what I've seen through county council and the buzz on the street, that people are not wanting to have the possibility of a data center located in our area until we have all the facts and figures. So, what do you think? 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. Go ahead and call me and let me have it, or tell me I'm right. What did you think of the interview with the quick? I mean, it's very quick, with Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett. She sees it from one side as far as mudslinging. Like I said, Bette Midler once said, mud will be slung tonight. I guess we couldn't have expected any better, because I really think both sides slung mud. But anyways, it's all in your perspective on where you're at. But that's the nature of debates, and that thing about sausage I think is very true. If you don't want to know what's in the sausage, don't go in the kitchen. There you go. All right, we have one more thing I want to talk about real quick this morning. It is the fact that tomorrow on Thursday, I'm announcing another winner of Breakfast for a Bunch. So if you would like to get your organization included in getting Breakfast for a Bunch from Chick-fil-A, guess what? You better get it in today, because in the morning, I'm announcing a new winner. We've had a couple of winners so far. It's been truly exciting. People have been excited to get it. Frank's Car Wash. Who else has gotten it? Greenwood Rehabilitation Hospital. So why not go ahead and put your name with the name of a group that you recommend, or if you are part of a group and you think you would like to be up for a delicious customized breakfast from Chick-fil-A, because it's surprising and delighting, and you will enjoy it so much they will bring it right to your work, then what do you need to do? You need to call 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. Tell us your name. Tell us why the group that you are nominating should get it. Just a short sentence. Doesn't have to be some long written epistle out there. Just a quick sentence, and we'll see it. We've got everything from individual businesses, nonprofit groups, doctors groups, hospital groups, small businesses. What business would you like to see, or what work group? Maybe we say it that way. What work group would you like to see get a free, delicious Chick-fil-A breakfast brought to you right there to your business? Well, if you don't enter, guess what? you can't win. So you need those entries in by 5 o'clock today. 864-332-9355. 864-332-9355. Delightful, delicious, and always a little bit surprising. That's Chick-fil-A right here with WCRS. All right, we are live on Facebook this morning. We are live on the radio. Anybody want to weigh in on a comment here? What did you think of Pamela Evett here this morning? Did you watch the debate last night? Who did you think won the debate? Do you think there was a winner of the debate? I think that is the question. Was there a winner of the debate? I don't know. I think it's still pretty much of a horse race out there. And I need to remind you, tomorrow morning at 9:30, we are going to have Attorney General Alan Wilson will be joining us. So today was Pamela Evett, tomorrow Alan Wilson. It'll be at the same time, 9:30 to about 9:45. So make sure you put that on your calendar. Now, this afternoon, many of you asked about you said, Anthony Price said, what did he say, Ann? He said that he would come back and do a show on brain health if the people wanted it. Well, so many of you said, I want to know more about brain health, and that was absolutely terrific. So he's coming this afternoon to talk about brain health. So if you would like to learn more about brain health, tune in this afternoon, 5 to 6. Anthony Price will be talking this afternoon. He has some amazing facts on things that you and I can do and are for our children that we can do to make our children's brains healthier, to make our adult brains healthier, to make our old brains healthier. And it's also amazing. I'm teasing it. I'm not going to tell you the answer. You got to tune in. It's amazing what facts and figures, and I have heard some of this in the media lately, so it's kind of exciting from the standpoint of that he is seeing the results of this, and it's something that we all can do. And part of the reason maybe that we're seeing so much problem with our children is because of this one issue. Many of us, when we grew up, we did things differently. I'm going to tell you all about it this afternoon at 5 o'clock, but you got to tune in. Anthony Price, Executive Director of Pathway House, will be joining us. So there you go. This is something that I think everybody should be able to get behind and see the benefit of doing some of these things. So tune in this afternoon, 5 o'clock, with Anthony Price. All right, we got time for just a little bit more here today. You know, coming up on Friday, Saturday is actually Juneteenth. I think a lot of people, are they taking Friday? I think some of your federal holiday type people will be off on Friday. So, so make sure you check with a business whether they are actually open. Of course, we know some businesses are, like our government, are closed on Friday, but I think I saw something where they're actually going to be celebrating on Friday. So, This is some of the things that are going on. Today at 2 p.m., learn about Revolutionary War heroine Rebecca Mott in a free, immersive, and interactive live theater production open to the public at Abbeville Opera House. Mott was a Revolutionary War heroine known for reclaiming her home from the British forces. The role will be portrayed by Chris Weatherhead. This performance is part of the Chautauqua History Comes Alive Festival in multiple, excuse me, yes, There we go. In multiple upstate locations, June 12th through the 21st. The theme of the 2026 festival is Revolutionary Americans, celebrating the 250th anniversary. You know, when you think about it, one of the big things that I've seen on TV and everything is the percentage of people that say they don't love America. Here's what I say. We have a free plane ticket to go and live in the Congo. I like that idea. Let's give them all a free plane ticket to go and live in the Congo. One-way ticket. Don't love it? Then leave it. There you go. I like that idea. What do you think of that one? You know, a friend of mine, Tony Spearman, she used to help me with the Saturday morning show. Unfortunately, we lost Tony several years ago. But one of the things that she talked about when we were talking about violence and kids and all, the same thing that seems to circle back around. In Germany, if children do not behave, they round them up. I mean, you're going to say, oh, my God, Ann, this isn't true. She says it's true. Now, I did not independently verify it. I thought, well, it makes sense to me. I love it. They would actually round up these really bad actor children. Now, they did have to go through a process. I mean, they wouldn't go to DEFCON 10 right away. But they would load them up and take them, I don't know if it was to the Congo, but it was some wilderness area, and leave them there for a week or 10 days, whatever it was, and come back and get them. And Tony said every one of them, when they got back on the plane, got off and got back to Germany, they just reached down and kissed the ground. They were so happy to be home, and they never, ever were a problem again. Well, we've seen people leave, like Rosie O'Donnell, right? And other people have left, and quietly, I need to say this now, quietly these people seem to come back to America. Maybe if we have, I think I saw a figure, I think it was like 50% of the people don't like living in America. Do you remember when Michelle Obama said after Barack won the nomination, or wasn't it? Yeah, it was after he won the nomination for the Democratic side to go on and become president, that she had never been so proud as an American. Well, you know, if you're not proud to be an American, you don't think this is the greatest country? President Trump is for setting up all these different funds. I mean, they keep getting knocked down by the Supreme Court. But here's what I say. Let's have a one-way ticket out of here. No problem. Go somewhere else. I wonder how many people would actually take... We can't even get the illegals to leave. So that should tell you something, right? All right, I'm off the chain. I'm going to get in trouble. But just thinking, if you don't love this country, leave it. But what I wanted to say before I went off on that rabbit hole was that I think that all this celebration about the past should make us realize how blessed we have been to have people who stood up when things mattered. You know, they have an exhibit at the Greenwood Museum. I was down there doing some business. I happened to get the opportunity to tour it again since opening. And it's rather interesting the way they have it divided up. When you go upstairs, you have a choice in how you view the 250th, the history. You can go down at the path of a patriot, or you can go down the path of a loyalist. And just think, if we didn't have any patriots that took that Robert Frost poem, The Road Less Traveled, where would our country be today? Would we still be subjects of the king in England? And some of you may say that would have been a good idea. I think not. There you go. But isn't that interesting, the idea that somebody, that the way they set up the exhibit, it is very interesting. You can go the Patriot route and see the story from the Patriot side, or you can go the Loyalist side. Now, the museum is open today, 10 to 2. The exhibit is an evolving exhibit. Some of the things that they've got up there are very, very interesting. I'm not going to tell you more. I want you to go by and see it, but also remind you that coming up next Monday will be another talk about local history as it relates to the 250th anniversary. So we'll get you more information on that. But what else do we have ready here to go? They've got the Juried Art Show in Uptown Greenwood. They've got the topiaries out there. Annie is at GCT, Greenwood Community Theater. I tell you what, as I was leaving the theater, I saw the doodle that is playing the part in Annie. So they were outside, I think, taking a little break there. So Annie is on stage. The box office is open Tuesday to Friday, 10 to 1 and 2 to 5. And you can visit greenwoodcommunitytheater.com for more information. This is the last weekend of it, so this is the final weekend. So I believe Friday, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and I am not sure if they are doing one on Sunday or not, Saturday night. But check with the theater, 864-229-5704. That's 864-229-5704. The play is Annie, the musical is Annie, and I've heard nothing but great reviews from it, so check that out. Now, if you're going to Greenville this final weekend to catch outdoor performances of Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream in Falls Park, that of course will go on weather permitting. Thursday through Sunday at 7 p.m. brought to you by the Upstate Shakespeare Festival and Warehouse Theater. So if you'd like more information, you can check that out. Visit warehousetheater.com for details. Freedom Day, Juneteenth celebrations will be going on. This is what I thought on Friday. I got to say, this is the weekend ticket that I am checking out. It's by St. Clair at the Index Journal. Freedom Day, Friday, Greenwood's Magnolia Park at 244 Magnolia Avenue will be the site of a Juneteenth celebration from noon to 5. It says enjoy food, music, vendors, and more. Juneteenth commemorates the effective end of slavery in the United States in 1865, when enslaved people in Texas learned at the end of the Civil War, even though it had ended a little earlier. Yes. So Saturday, enjoy the Greenwood Juneteenth Parade and Festival starting at 10 a.m. at 330 Main Street, organized by the Greenwood Garvites. Vendors, food, trucks, games, and performances will be on site. Parade lineup is at 9:30 a.m. in Hampton Place Shopping Center. And vendors, food trucks, parade lineup is at 9:30 in the Shoppers Hampton Place Shopping Center. So be checking that out. Break time Sports Bar at 1101 Reynolds Avenue in Greenwood will also be hosting Juneteenth events until 6 p.m. Now, This is something that I think is so funny. You know, having grown up with Bob Rossi on the TV, showing how you can paint like him, right? Paint by the numbers. Well, Saturday you can learn to paint hydrangeas in the style of Bob Rossi in a public class at 10 a.m. hosted by Piedmont Tech. College Workforce Innovation Division and Errant Artistry at 620 Emerald Road. So a certified Ross instructor trained in the Bob Rossi Teacher Training Center in Florida is leading the class. Designed for ages 12 and older, you can visit Continuing Ed. By the way, there are a lot of things at Continuing Ed out there at Piedmont Tech. There are a lot of classes. There's a lot of camps going on out there. There are camps all over Greenwood for young people of all ages. So make sure you check that out. Now, Also, Sunday, the public is invited to observe International Yoga Day by participating in a free 10 a.m. outdoor yoga class at the Uptown Market in Greenwood. So this is a free yoga class at the Uptown Market. Make sure you check that out. Recommended for ages 13 and older. Bring your own mat, water, towels, and a chair if you need to modify poses for support. Hosted by Gentle Roots Yoga. Yes, and you can visit their website at gentlerootsyoga.org. Also on Sunday at 2 p.m. is the Tai Chi 101 workshop with Young Wellness. That's at 130 Maxwell Avenue. So there you go. Of course, there's going to be music everywhere. Looks like Thursday, the Senators Jazz Band plays Flynn's and Maxwell. And by the way, excuse me. By the way, congratulations to Flynn's. 13 years of being in their same spot, doing great things, providing a little respite from the world. So congratulations, Flynn's. May you have many, many more 13 years of enjoyment and bringing enjoyment to our community. So congratulations. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? I think somebody just sent me a massage. Okay, I'm in a message. We're going to find out for you what it is. Greenwood 250... June 22nd is Rick Morris. Richard Allen Morris was born and raised in Morgantown, West Virginia, appointed to the U.S. Air Force Academy, went to pilot training. What are we talking about? I mean, he has quite a background. After 8 years, he retired and worked as a supervisor of government contracts for British Aerospace Engineering. Moved to South Carolina in 2015 to retire closer to family. He has volunteered at the 96 National Park for the last 10 years. And he is active, let's see, what events leading up to the May? He is going to be talking about the events leading up to the Revolution, South Carolina and beyond. 96, May 1773. British tax on tea, Charlestown, tea parties. Do you know the first tea party was not the Boston Tea Party? It was in Charleston, South Carolina. Did you know that the Charlestonians decided they might need the tea, so they kept the tea. They simply stole the tea and appropriated it and put it in a location for safekeeping. Unlike the Boston Tea Party, where they just threw it over and had a giant tea party in the Boston Harbor. Now, who was smarter? I'd say the Charlestonians, because they made money off of it and they got to enjoy a delicious cup of tea. So, he will be speaking about May 1773, the British tax on tea, Charleston tea parties, intolerable acts, and more during that period. So there you go. If you would like to know more about it, you can check out at the museum. This is always held at the museum. This will be the 3rd talk. It's 5:30. I think, is it 5:30? I'll have to double check for you. I believe it's 5:30, and it's supposed to last about an hour, giving you some information. But what a wealth of information this person will have on Monday night. That also is free and open to the public. So, we had a quick conversation with Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett on the hunt to be the next governor. She was fresh off the debate, so I thought was perfect timing to get some input from us. We talked a little bit about the data centers, that the moratorium that the county council has put into effect, through information sources that come to me from all places, beep, 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 and actually checking out some of these things myself. I was able to learn that county council, and maybe y'all out there should start pushing them, I repeat, could get that moratorium in effect quickly by simply sending out a notice to the media that there will be a there will be a specially called meeting, 3 days. And if you look at the calendar, they could do 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, and boom, they could be actually, I think, I might be off by a day, but it still would be very close, of getting a moratorium in effect at the same time that they're going to vote on whether that text amendment is going to go through. My personal opinion, I think the moratorium gives the folks in Greenwood and gives county council and all their staff and everything enough time to be able to determine where and if data centers should come to Greenwood. I personally think that what we heard when they first started talking about this text amendment is no way strong enough. We have not enough information, nor do we know of places where there would be space, particularly with enough setbacks to make sure that the data center is not right up on somebody's property. I will tell you one other piece of information that I learned that I neglected to tell you earlier. They said the light from these data centers, it's like it's 24 light. You don't ever have real darkness if your home is close to it. Now, of course, further away, that's a different subject. But they do put out a lot of light. So to me, taking the time to get it right, putting them in the right location, makes a lot more sense than rushing it through. Because guess what, folks? After they're in, we'll never get them out. So that would be my personal desire. So we have a moratorium amendment on the table with county council. They need to make a decision. Should they go through the process that they have to go through, but speed it up by letting the media know and having special called meetings? I've seen this a lot more with city council doing special called meetings just to address one issue when something pops up. So this would not be unusual to do this. So that would be my opinion on that. I am the voice of Greenwood. And so I speaketh my truths. I speak my opinions, as well as bringing you a lot of good, straight information, too. And that's what I enjoy doing. Unfortunately, I just got beat up during the primary, and I don't think I've really recovered from it yet. But I carry on. This afternoon, don't forget, Anthony Price will be here, Executive Director of Pathway Health. We'll be talking about brain health, and you can see what one particular piece of the puzzle that you can do, whether you're young or old, to affect your brain and the longevity and the health of your brain. So whether you suffer from any ailment, these things are proven to help your situation. Healthy brains. Tune in this afternoon. You don't want to miss this one. It's going to be a good one. That'll be from 5 to 6 today. Also, you have till 5 o'clock today to get the next entry on who is going to win the coveted breakfast for a brunch from Chick-fil-A. So, 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. Please send me your entries. I need your name and what group, and it can be a group that you are part of that you would like to nominate for breakfast for a bunch from Chick-fil-A. Delightful, delicious, and a little bit surprising. Only from your Chick-fil-A. By the way, I did want to mention, did you know that Chick-fil-A does catering? If you want to have an event catered, they will do that too. Check that out. They always serve it up hot, delicious, and ready to go. So, again, 864-332-9355. Nominate a group. a deserving group out there? We've done car wash, Frank's Car Wash. We've done Greenwood Rehabilitation Hospital, their therapy department. And would you know a group you would like to nominate? Please do it today, because at 5 o'clock I'm going to cut it off. I'll get with our connection over there at Chick-fil-A, and we'll make that decision. Do it now. 864-332-9355. That is going to do it for me. As usual, somebody on Facebook said, "Good morning, Penny." Did they say good morning, Ann? No, they said, "Good morning, Penny." What's the deal here? How come she gets all the love and I get to do all the work? Oh, because that's the way it was intended, Ann. Hey, that's going to do it for me. This is WCRS right here in Greenwood, South Carolina, beaming to not only here in Greenwood, but to the world through the magic of Facebook Live, internet streaming, and any other nefarious ways we can get it out there. That'll do it for me. Bye-bye, everybody. Take it away. Will the music play this morning? That is the question. Yes. Bye-bye, everybody.